Another stretch of severe weather is here, bringing the potential for some damaging winds, large hail, and potential tornadoes. So I'm going to be talking about what you need to know about the severe weather potential. Let's get right into the video. It's Monday, May 4th, 2026, and we have an area to be watching for severe weather all the way from northern Texas into southern Michigan. We will have some storms develop today with a chance for some damaging winds, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado or two. The Storm Prediction Center has a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk going from northern Texas up into parts of southern Michigan. And they have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk out here from northeastern Kansas into western Illinois. An isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out today, mainly within these areas right here, all the way from parts of eastern Missouri into southern Michigan. A 2% tornado risk. We also do have a potential for some damaging winds with a 5% wind risk in effect from northern Texas up into parts of southern Michigan. Hail is also going to be a concern today out here from northern Texas into southern Michigan. We also have potential for some large to very large hail with a hail conditional intensity group 1 risk going from northern Texas into parts of southeastern Kansas. If we switch over to the future radar here, you can see that we're going to have a lot of moisture out there, as you can see right here, within some of those areas with that setup of severe weather out there. So this is kind of what that's looking like. We're going to have some of that moisture around 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, we're going to have some storms kind of get their act together, especially around 6 p.m. Eastern out here in parts of the Ohio Valley up in the Great Lakes region. We're going to have some storms push through some of those areas and going to just develop around 7 p.m. Eastern. This is what it could look like out there. We'll have some storms pushing through southern Michigan. You can see we can have some storms kind of develop out there, potentially bringing the chance for an isolated tornado, damaging winds, as well as a chance for some hail. And this is what the future radar could look like today down here towards parts of Oklahoma and that risk down there. You can see we could be seeing some pretty large hail out there. Wouldn't rule out chance for maybe an isolated tornado, though, out here with some of those storms that could develop. As you can see right here, if we switch over to SIGTOR, you can see we're going to have some levels actually kind of develop out there. But you can see we're going to kind of have some of those storms kind of push through some of these areas down here as well. We switch over to CAPE, okay, it stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. Think of it as storm fuel. You can see we're going to have some decent amounts of storm fuel out there today, as you can see right there. So we definitely have some fuel for these storms. So definitely make sure you're having a way to get alerts if you're out here from in Oklahoma City, over there towards Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, into parts of Illinois and Indiana, like Chicago, Illinois, Fort Wayne, Indiana, down to Columbus, Ohio, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and anywhere inside of these highlighted areas, even Kansas City to Springfield, Illinois. You guys need to be staying prepared for potential severe weather. As we get into tomorrow on Tuesday, we have another severe weather chance. We actually have 2 areas to be watching tomorrow on Tuesday. One is down here from central Texas into southern Illinois, where we have potential for severe weather on Tuesday. So definitely be aware for that. And then we have one actually up here in the northeast for tomorrow on Tuesday, where we have a potential for severe weather as well. We cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two tomorrow within these areas. Have a chance for even an isolated tornado up here towards the northeast tomorrow on Tuesday. The main area to be watching, though, for tornadoes tomorrow will probably be from Dallas up into southern Illinois. We will have a potential for some damaging winds as well, mainly within these areas out here, inside of these highlighted areas. So definitely be prepared for potential damaging winds. The Storm Prediction Center has a 15% wind risk, though, out here from northeastern Texas into southern Missouri. Large hail will also be a potential within inside of this 15% hail risk, mainly with the hail conditional intensity group 1. We could see potentially large to very large hail. If we switch over to the future radar here for tomorrow on Tuesday, you can see we're going to have some storms start to develop out there. If we push it up to around 6 p.m. Eastern, we might have a few storms start to pop up out there towards southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. Kind of just push through some of those areas with the potential for some hail, damaging winds, and maybe an isolated tornado. So definitely be prepared for that. Make sure you're parking your car in a garage so that doesn't get damaged by hail if you're out there. And strap down unsecured objects so they don't fly away. So yeah, definitely make sure you're staying aware tomorrow. So we're going to have some storms kind of push through some of those areas. You can see we could get a storm, some of those storms go into the night, as you can see here, around 11 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. This is kind of what it could look like. So definitely, if you're out there, definitely make sure you have no alerts while you're sleeping in some of these areas out here. We switch over to the STP values. This is significant tornado parameter. You can see we got some decent levels out there, so definitely have the chance for some tornadoes out there. And we also have some decent amounts of storm fuel, which is CAPE here. You can see we got decent amounts of that as well, this is just completely enough for potential storms out there, and it's definitely enough storm fuel. Now, I think Wednesday will probably be the main day with all of this, with a large area to be watching from San Antonio, Texas, into southern Tennessee. This is Wednesday, okay? So we have a potential for severe weather on Wednesday within these areas. The Storm Projection Center has a slight risk and effect from eastern Texas and to parts of Alabama. This is level 2 out of 5 slight risk. Then level 1 out of 5 marginal risk going from central Texas into parts of southern Tennessee. So we're watching Wednesday for potential large hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. I think the main concern will probably be damaging winds and hail. Kind of just to give you a look at what some of those storms could look like out there on Wednesday right here. As you can see, we're going to have some of those storms kind of push through some of those areas out there. I wouldn't doubt an upgrade to potentially an enhanced risk. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we're gonna have a chance for quite a lot of rainfall from Memphis up to parts of Cleveland, Ohio. It'll bring a chance for some flooding. As you can see right here, we're gonna have a lot of rain out there, so definitely be aware for that. And then as we get into Wednesday, we have another excessive rainfall chance down here from eastern Texas all the way into parts of West Virginia. As we're gonna have a lot of rain out there, I wouldn't rule out maybe an upgrade to a moderate excessive rainfall chance out there. And let's talk about the fire weather chance out here in parts of the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma today. We have a chance for some fire weather out here, as we're going to have some pretty dry conditions out there and some windy conditions leading to a fire condition chance with elevated fire weather risk and effect. And the cooler temperatures are here, as we've been talking about this for a while, as you can see here. Might have a few times when like some of that warm air kind of tries to seep in, but we're gonna have some even more cold temperatures try to come down around May 6th. This is just a pretty strange weather pattern. It's just gonna be pretty crazy, so definitely make sure you're being aware for some pretty cold temperatures to potentially freezing conditions out there. As if you're in any of those freeze or frost type of warnings, definitely make sure to protect your plants, as we're gonna have some pretty decently cold temperatures kind of keep trying to come through here, as you can see right there. But when in doubt, a potential for some warmer air coming through towards mid-May, with the Climate Prediction Center issuing a chance for some above normal temperatures towards the west and below normal temperatures towards the east. A very large chunk of the United States could be dealing with some nice weather today, as you can see right here. If you're out here, enjoy this nice weather, as we could be seeing some nice weather out here, as you can see right there. Some of you guys could be dealing with some nice weather and then maybe some rain with some of that nice weather, but yeah, we're just going to have some pretty nice weather with beautiful conditions, especially out here within these green areas. Even up there towards Washington is going to be pretty nice. And I think that even more severe weather will be a potential beyond Wednesday, as we're going to have some of these storm systems continue to try to push through some of those areas out there. We're going to have these storm systems continue to make their way through some of these areas. And then on Wednesday, we're actually going to have potentially a lot of snow out here towards eastern Colorado and western Kansas, as you can see right there. You guys could be dealing with some snow, so definitely be aware for that out there. And then if we push this up some more, you can see we're going to have that low pressure system out there on May 7th out there, kind of push through some of those areas. And I think on Thursday, we could be having maybe a severe weather chance out there continuing towards the Ohio Valley. So definitely be aware for that. And then that storm system's kind of just going to make its way through, as you can see right there. And some decently strong winds will be a potential as well on Wednesday out here towards the Texas Panhandle, mainly towards the southern plains. And then push this up some more. You can see even after Wednesday, we do have potential for some severe weather. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Stay weather aware, and I'll see you in the next weather update video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.